And here's another extremely interesting case at the Egyptian Museum in Cairo of iron artifacts. You can see here what look like hoes, nails, an iron axe, pliers, chisel tips, and look at what we have here. Iron saw blades.
Yep, as you'll see there, there's iron saw blades, right? Which is important, right? Because I'm gonna say it anyway. There's people out there that like to repeat over and over again that archaeologists say that ancient Egyptians, for example, did not have iron. They only had copper tools. But as you can see, there is iron tools. If you go into the history and go look it up on Google, you'll see that the idea of why there's iron tools is because the Romans taught the Egyptians how to smelt iron and create iron tools. So supposedly, the information wasn't put into this video that we just watched, but some people will point out the fact that the iron stuff knowledge being brought to the Egyptians from the Romans were close to the end of the Egyptian Empire, right? Their reign. So in other words, these iron tools would have not been used at the time of the Great Pyramid's creation, right? So some people try to use that as an argument that these iron tools were after the Great Pyramid was created, not before. Okay, fair enough. That's still be something we could debate and go further into researching. But for now, the main point of this video is to show that yes, there are iron tools found. Whether it's whoever said it, whether it was archaeologists or just some people who are fans of archaeology, or even some people from the alternative history people, are the ones saying that ancient Egypt only had copper tools and no iron tools. Ultimately doesn't matter who said it per se. It's the fact that I see it a lot. It's the point I'm trying to make, is that I see it a lot of people arguing, and I've been arguing for a couple months, over a year now, right? That no, ancient Egyptians or ancient humans in general did have iron tools. Iron is there's every continent had iron. So the idea of Egyptians not having iron doesn't make sense. If you could prove it, that's one thing. Of course, you can prove definitely the proof is we don't have iron tools, therefore they didn't have iron tools. Like, okay, that's a possibility, not definitive, but it does lean towards they didn't have iron tools. The main thing is they didn't have it in abundance to make it easy for us to find it, right? But clearly we found them, which means they did have iron tools in abundance, so we were able to find some tools still left as tools, weren't repurposed or wasn't lost, right, in time or deteriorated. We found some, so there was enough of it for it to be available for us to find it and have it in the Cairo Museum, which is in Cairo, Egypt, right? So there's proof that they had iron, which is my whole stance was iron did exist in Egypt. So if anybody's gonna be like, no, they definitely only had copper tools and used copper, tools like copper chisels to cut granite, and it's like, nope, granite's not really good. I already made a video about how copper's not really good at cutting granite. Well, of course, the next video to make would be me cutting granite with iron, right? Me getting like an iron saw or something, just cut my red granite in half, or at least just cut enough of it to show that it can be cut with iron. But the main thing is, like, we understand that rocks can cut granite, or at least I hope y'all who watch my stuff know that yes, you can cut granite with quartz, granite with diamond, granite with iron, not really cut granite with copper. This is why we don't use copper chisels or copper saw blades or copper tubes to cut granite in modern day times. If copper was so good at cutting granite, we would still be using it. The reason we don't, and the reason we use steel and iron and diamond and stuff like that instead, even cobalt is like some cobalt alloy or something, titanium chisels or whatever. Like, the reason we have tungsten steel, that's what it was, tungsten steel I'm thinking of. Anyway, the point is, we use better stuff now than copper. Is the point. Copper ain't the best. Could they technically have done it and took forever to do it that way, yes, that would be the worst way to do it. Yes, using copper chisels. But I don't like to look at ancient humans, including the Egyptians, as not being smart enough to use a rock like flint or something to cut granite, or use a piece of granite to cut granite, or use quartz crystals, which they have a whole bunch of white quartz crystals in Egypt, and use that to cut granite instead. No, they're gonna make the unintelligent, unadvanced decision and use copper chisels and copper tubes. No, they're smarter than that. I give them credit for being smarter than that. So I expect them to use better tools, like these iron tools in this video, as you can see. And that's the end of this video.